The most controversial court cases in celebrity history. Have you ever thought about what goes on behind the scenes of the craziest celebrity court cases? There were crimes in Hollywood and courtrooms that the whole world watched, and some of them changed people's lives forever. Did these stars really do what they did? How did they get into so much legal trouble? Stay tuned as we uncover the most controversial court cases in celebrity history. You won't believe the twists and turns that kept everyone on the edge of their seats. In 1997, Oprah wins a case in court regarding a burger. In the event that you make libelous claims against food, were you aware that you could be subject to legal action? Although the title, How Oprah Got Sued for Dissing a Burger, may sound like it was taken from a story in The Onion, it was actually quite entertaining. The executives of the cattle industry subsequently filed a lawsuit against Winfrey and her guests, saying that their words had caused them to lose millions of dollars in revenue over the course of their comments. It was allegedly a violation of the food disparagement. It was determined, however, that the particular legislation in question did not apply to Oprah's situation in the appropriate manner, and the jury decided to acquit her of the charges. Katy Perry of Nuns in the year 2018. Immediately began the process of turning this narrative into a miniseries. An attempt was made by Katy Perry to purchase an abandoned convent in Los Angeles for close to $15 million. However, the transaction was thwarted due to the legal and real estate issues involved. Unfortunately, a sister called Catherine Rose Holzman, who was one of the nuns, was said to have passed away in the courtroom after collapsing unexpectedly. It is said that Katy Perry was the last person to speak to her. Regardless, Perry emerged victorious in the conflict and was granted millions of dollars in compensation for his legal bills. Nicole Smith fought for the estate of her husband from 1996 to 2007. J. Howard Marshall was a wealthy oil magnate, and Nicole Smith was a very renowned Playboy model. She married him. At the time of their wedding, Smith was 26 years old and Marshall was 89 years old. Despite the fact that Smith was left out of his will, she asserted that Marshall had assured her that he would leave her his substantial part in Koch Industries regardless of the circumstances. This was due to the fact that Smith had filed for bankruptcy. In addition, it was somewhat lengthy, and it was eventually brought before the Supreme Court during its course. Before the lawsuit could be resolved, Smith tragically passed away as a result of an overdose caused by a prescription drug. Misrepresentation of Gwyneth Paltrow in advertising for the year 2018. Gwyneth Paltrow's reputation has been severely destroyed by Goop, despite the fact that she may be a good actress. These products were purported to improve the sexual and mental wellness of women. In point of fact, Paltrow and her company were brought to court since the comments turned out to be so devastating. The lawsuit filed against Goop said that the company's medical claims were unfounded and misleading from a scientific standpoint. The prosecution prevailed in the case, and the judge ordered Goop to pay damages totaling close to $150,000. In 2019, Jussie Smollett is accused of fabricating a hate crime. In January of 2019, the world was startled by the news that Empire actor Jussie Smollett had passed away. Smollett asserted that he was the target of a hate crime committed by two individuals who were wearing masks and were supporters of Donald Trump. A lawsuit was filed against him by the city of Chicago in April of the same year, and he was subjected to severe criticism. They wanted the sum of $130,000 that they had spent researching his fictitious crime to be returned to them. The second trial began in November of 2021 and did not go for very long. A sentence of almost 2 years of probation and 150 days in jail was handed down to him. The Me Too movement was sparked by Harvey Weinstein in 2020. In October of 2017, something that was considered to be a big player in the Hollywood machine was ultimately eliminated. Over 80 women accused producer Harvey Weinstein of sexual behavior throughout the course of that month. These allegations were the impetus for both the #MeToo movement and the wider Weinstein effect. He appeared in court while using a walker and moaning about severe back pain. A great deal of stress was developed among the general public as a result of the juries deliberated for a total of 5 days. Weinstein was found guilty of 2 crimes and sentenced to 23 years in jail after they returned with their findings. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in the year 2022. That spring of 2022, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were so popular that it was impossible to walk anywhere without hearing about them. Throughout the course of their long-term relationship, Heard has claimed that Depp has been abusive towards her, rather than the other way around. Following the conclusion of the trial, numerous excerpts from the live stream went viral on various social media platforms, making it a phenomenon that affected the entire country. An example of how social media has become an integral element of the dissemination of news and information in this day and age is the fact that the trial has been more like a circus than a legal proceeding. Media Circus that Michael Jackson performed in 2005. Michael Jackson was eventually brought before a judge after years of rumors followed him around. In 2005, the case known as the People of the State of California of Michael Joe Jackson was brought before the court, which lasted for a period of 4 months and produced a media circus. In point of fact, journalists have voiced their disapproval at the manner in which the media has responded to the trial, describing their coverage as shameful and erroneous. Culkin was also there. After everything was said and done, Jackson was judged to be innocent and exonerated of all accusations. Bill Cosby has ruined his stellar reputation in 2017 and 2018. Bill Cosby was revered as a significant figure in American culture for many years. When comedian Hannibal Buress made a reference to how damaging and dangerous he was while performing on stage, everything changed around the year 2014. It was determined that the majority of the cases, with the exception of Constance, did not fall inside the statute of limitations, which shielded Bill Cosby from any potential legal consequences. Within the context of Andrea Constand v. William H., he was found guilty on 3 counts and sentenced to between 3 and 10 years in jail for each of those crimes. But in June of 2021, this decision was reversed after it was claimed that Bill Cosby's constitutional rights had been violated. After serving a sentence of less than 3 years in prison, he was released. O.J. Simpson is responsible for the most famous trial of the century, which took place in 1994. O.J. Simpson's trial is without a doubt the most outrageous celebrity trial in the history of the world. There is simply no way to dispute this fact. Because of the trial's monumental significance to popular culture, he became renowned only for it after it became public. During that time period, this trial was broadcast all over the world and received extensive coverage in the media. Famous moments that will live on in infamy and others. A public trial that is comparable to this one has never been held before. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the latest celebrity news, scandals, and must-know stories from Hollywood and beyond.